Hey guys, Sneaky Snake here, Brothers in Arms, World of Warships, and today's video is going to be a very awesome replay that I had in the Z-52, the Tier 10 German destroyer. However, this is going to be presented to you in the teamwork format because this one was an amazing game that my buddy Puddin and I had here playing some domination on the map Hotspot. Puddin, of course, is in the Minotaur, the Tier 10 British light cruiser, and while we do have a third member in our division, B-Ray, in the Des Moines, the Tier 10 American heavy cruiser, unfortunately for him, he disconnected right before this game started and was not able to reconnect to the client. So, unfortunately for him, he's going to do literally nothing in this game, short of sit there in his spawn. So, I know that we usually present destroyer replays in their entirety on Mondays, but this game that Puddin and I had is just so awesome that I could not help but use it in the teamwork format, and that is why we are showing it here on Monday. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this one as much as we did playing in it, because this one was an absolute kraken of a game. So again, we're going to show it to you in dual perspectives. Puddin and I were talking here, and he was going to go over to G7, and we're basically going to try to hold on to Bravo and Charlie at the same time. He's going to be in position to help out both of the caps, and of course the Minotaur has the very floaty shell arcs, so he's going to be able to help out both and not be infringed upon by the corner of the island. And right now I have moved on to the B cap, and I'm going to set up shop here and try to not let B ever fall into the enemy team's hands, or at least try my darndest to not let that happen. So I do decide to use my hydroacoustic, very, very long duration hydro with 5.9 kilometer detection on enemy ships. I am, of course, running the hydroacoustic equipment piece, which extends the duration of it. You can also see that the friendly carrier is making a very nice play, keeping that enemy gearing off of the B cap here early on. He's sending his torpedo planes after, so because of that, I am going to be able to get Bravo for free. So whether that was intentional or not, a very nice play by the CV here at the beginning. So I got 14 seconds now left here on the cap. I am looking for a torpedo salvo here on the curve first, and there we go. I launched my first salvo of fish here in this game. Puddin has since made his way over to the corner at G7. So one other thing to note, and you will be hearing from him later in the replay, is that since I'm here at the southeastern corner as I get the solo base cap, his AA range is around 8 kilometers in the Minotaur. So what that means is that since I'm in this position, his AA bubble, at least for the long range, is going to be able to overlap my position. So if the enemy CV decides to bring his planes in on me, he is going to have to deal with some very frightening Minotaur AA. And that ship honestly rivals the Des Moines for its potency. Obviously, the Des Moines, when it uses defensive fire, is the clear-cut winner amongst any ship in the game for AA potency, but the Minotaur certainly gives it a run for its money when defensive fire is not down. So I have long since gotten the solo cap here at Bravo. The friendly Shimakaze is also up here, just as he is getting onto the B cap as well. I did kind of waste my smoke screen because I really wasn't thinking that Curry Horse would immediately turn away, but I was lucky enough to get a fire on him, and he does continue to burn. However, the enemy gearing did circle his way back around, and he is on the B cap. I know that because the shimmy is there, but it does say the enemy team is starting to capture B on the notification. And I also pick up his torpedoes, all 10 of them, on my hydroacoustic with 26 seconds left on it. So what I'm going to do here is slow down just a bit and start turning hard to starboard. I know that even with the lousy maneuverability of the Z-52, I am going to be able to dodge these torpedoes without any issue. And at this point, I decide to activate my speed boost, and I'm going to get back on the cap. But unfortunately, I will not have the benefit of my hydroacoustic to hook me up, so spotting this guy is going to be all up to getting some nice line of sight on him. He's about halfway done capturing the base, but again, the shimmy and I are going to be able to make it back on there, so that's really good stuff. And any second now, we are going to detect the gearing. He is using that island that is straight in front of me to try and shield himself. I do get detected, and then the gearing does pop up at 5.5 kilometers away, and now I'm going to shoot at this guy, and I will be able to get some base resets on this guy, and that's all that I was really trying to get. He is getting some good shots over the corner of the island at me, and I do lose a few thousand hit points, but I'm still no worse for the wear. I am still doing A-okay. The Z-52 does have a very large hit point pool to work with, and oh my lord, that Chapayev got deleted by the Montana. Very nice shot right there, taking care of the long-range radar threat here at B as well. So very nice stuff right there by that Tier 10 American battleship. I did have to turn away because of it, and all of a sudden I'm down to 14,000 hit points, but again, I still have a decent bit to work with. And you can also see once more the friendly CV is flying some dive dive bombers here right over the B cap. So he is definitely trying to hunt this guy down if he comes out of his smoke screen and spot him. But what I realize that I can do right here is I have 48 seconds left until my next hydro, is I'm going to be able to get right next to this island, and I'm going to auto detect this guy, because if I get within 2 kilometers, he will be perma-spotted. So you can see in the chat, I click on the sector and I tell the CV, hey man, you need to get your bombers ready to drop on him. But unfortunately, the CV decided to send his guys the other way. Switching over to Puddin's perspective here, an enemy Yagumo gets spotted at less than 1,000 hit points, and there's just no way he's going to be able to get out alive. And Puddin gets a very nice kill steal, taking care of that tier 9 Japanese destroyer and securing the first kill of the game for any of us in the squad. So very nice stuff right there. Puddin is detected still here by the aircraft. He does not feel safe, so he decides to use, I believe, his first smoke screen of the game. So very good stuff right there. Unfortunately, the enemy team manages to get 2 kills in quick succession, but Puddin here is safe from harm, at least from guys that are not blind firing into the smoke. So he is just peppering at whatever targets are presenting him the best opportunity to deal damage. You can see the Kerr first is almost dead at this point. And unfortunately, we're down 4 ships to 2. But because I am still on the cap, and there is... I lost my train of thought. Never mind. Regardless of that, Puddin is getting some more shots here at the Hindenburg. The Hindenburg is turning away, trying to get out of the way, but he will be able to land a few solid AP salvos into his broadside and pick up a decent chunk of damage on that German cruiser. Now, since then, I have gotten my hydroacoustic back up, and I did launch my torpedoes into the smoke screen at the gearing, but unfortunately for me, he is able to move forward. However, that guy is going to remain detected for a whole minute and 43 seconds as of this moment. So there's no reason for me to get out of dodge. There's no enemy CV planes around. There is a Neptune coming in on my starboard side. He is within 10 kilometers, so I am turning away. But again, I can still sit at this southeastern corner of the objective, and I just don't have to worry about anything at the moment. That hydroacoustic is so darn deadly, and if I was in something like a Z-46, yeah, the Z-46, the tier 9 German destroyer, I wouldn't be able to spot that gearing right now because he's 5.1 kilometers away. But because the Z-52 has the amazing hydroacoustic range, I can just sit here in the side of the cap, and I am still contesting it. So while the enemy team is denying us the points at this moment, we have control of C, they have control of A. So even though we've lost 4 ships to 3, both teams are still accruing the same amount of points every 5 seconds. So that's really nice stuff. My torpedoes are almost reloaded here, so I certainly will be launching them downrange at the Neptune. He is taking quite a bit of fire, both from Puddin and myself. You can see Puddin shells are flying in from his position over there, again at G7. So very nice stuff right there. And yeah, my torpedoes are going to go down into that smoke screen, and hopefully I'll be able to get the kill. You can see also my friends are continuing to try and hit that gearing, who is still making very frivolous use of that island cover. But still, this hydro has got him for another 24 seconds, and it is absolutely great. You can see the dive bombers now coming in after they got reloaded were able to do some damage. So although the CV missed out on his first opportunity to do so, he certainly realized that he was able to get the gearing potentially damaged by his dive bombers, and he was able to burn a repair on that guy. And with that being said, my torpedoes slam home into the Neptune, make that 3 of them, pick up the devastating strike. I'm up to 76,000 points of damage. Very nice stuff right there. Puddin making that guy use his smoke screen, and then my torpedoes came in and took care of business. Now what you're going to see right here is what Puddin and I were talking about in the pregame to this one. We're saying, hey, if he's in that spot, he is going to be within AA range of me. So as he does get detected and I move out of my smoke screen, you can see that those enemy dive bombers are off. Puddin's AA is going to go to work, so I do not have to worry about it. And even though his long range AA is the only stuff that's going to be able to shoot at those planes, he will certainly be able to swat a few of them out of the sky, so that's obviously good stuff.
Hi Sneaky, it's just your friendly Minotaur sitting over here where I said I would be giving you AA. Why do I have to play with this potato?
Oh, okay. So I'm a potato now, huh, Puddin? At this point in the game, the only reason why we wanted to include that clip is because I totally potatoed, like he said, and I forgot about his insane AA range. So I was a little worried about those planes, but of course, Puddin was able to swipe down, I believe, 3 or 4 of them and keep me safe. And with that being said, I do manage to get right back on the cap just as the enemy team was about to capture it. So because of Puddin's excellent AA support, he was able to take care of those pesky aircraft, and also some mild torpedo beats as he moved forward in his smokescreen, and he's continuing to pepper the Montana. Switching back to myself, my next smoke is almost ready to go right about now, so I am going to pop it. You can see that there's honestly ships all around me, but I'm not freaking out because I have another smokescreen, and I don't have to worry about any radar. There's the Hindenburg behind me, which could potentially have hydroacoustic, of course, but I am going to be able to sit here, and, well, I'm really not in that bad of a position. The only thing that could really go wrong right now is if the Lion decided to push me, but I get my hydroacoustic back up. Unfortunately, I do allow the B cap because I drifted out just a little too far out of the cap, so unfortunately, it does go into the enemy team's hands, but now that I get right back on the contest, they are not going to be getting points, so we're still no worse for the wear. The Montana managed to get another solid kill on one of the enemy gearings, so very good stuff right there. And because my hydroacoustic is up, it appears that the Lion does not want to charge my smokescreen, which honestly is not a bad play on his part, but I mean, he still has the majority of his hit points. I'm really surprised that he didn't. Unfortunately, that Montana makes a very nice blind fire into my smokescreen. That is not the last we'll see of him. However, I do manage to land 4 solid torpedoes into that guy. My hydroacoustic also manages to pick up the gearing torpedoes behind me. And at this point, it's not looking good for me all of a sudden because I took that big hit. So what Puddin's going to do here is make one of the best team plays that I have seen in quite some time. He's going to go outside of detection, honestly, or get detected, I should say, and he is open water firing at this enemy Hindenburg. A very ballsy play, but because he's doing that, as we switch back to my perspective, he is baiting this guy to focus on him. A little bit of a case of look at the birdie, and because the German smoke doesn't last that long, I do get detected right here, but because Puddin kept his, himself spotted and kept the Hindenburg's attention away from me, 3 torpedoes slam home into that tier 10 German heavy cruiser from me, and I'm able to pick up my second kill of the game. I'm up to 157,000 damage, and at this point I'm trying to run away from the gearing. I'm only at about 4,000 hit points, so things are not looking good for me. I really do need to get undetected here really quickly, and there we go, I do indeed, but I am going to take a couple more parting gifts from that gearing as I'm running away, and there we go, I do go below 4,000 hit points. He's also moving into the cap to smoke up the enemy Lion, which is a very good play on his part, and I am deciding not to shoot at this moment because there's no reason for me to do so. But because of this, and because of the Hindenburg dying, you saw right there when Puddin shot, he did not get detected. So the only ships that are remotely close to us is the Lion and the gearing. So he is going to be able to push in, and since he has the majority of his hit points, what he told me he was going to do right now is pop his hydroacoustic, and he is going to go into the cap and try to get as close as he can to that smokescreen. So a very ballsy play by Puddin right here, but hey, at this point, it's 549 to 563. The enemy team has 6 ships, and we have 6 ships, so we really do need to make something happen here. You can see I launched my torpedo salvo into the smokescreen. He does get detected very briefly right here by something, and I'm thinking that it is the gearing who might have moved out of his smokescreen. So with that being said, Puddin manages to pop his hydroacoustic, but it appears that the shots coming out of the smoke are not pointing towards Puddin whatsoever, as they are going over towards the Montana, so the Lion is not paying attention. I do get detected right here, and I pull hard on the brakes because the gearing is certainly going to shoot at me, and that's exactly what I wanted him to do. So I'm going to use my smokescreen for myself, and I managed to land 2 torpedoes into that smokescreen, so the Lion is certainly going to use his damage control. However, I'm able to get out of the way of the gearing shells. Very nice stuff. I believe the Montana once again managed a very nice hit in there. Puddin manages to take care of his second kill of the game and kill the gearing, and once again, since all the enemy ships are so far away, he is moving in on this enemy Lion completely unmolested. So with that being said, my torpedoes, because they have such a nice reload on the Z-52, are already ready to go again. So I launch another 8 ball worth of torpedoes into the smokescreen. However, I am not going to go out because who knows, maybe there's going to be some random plane somewhere off in the backfield that potentially could spot us. Puddin moves into the cap, and he manages to spot the Lion on hydroacoustic. He does get detected by some aircraft here. You can see, as I was worried about, there's 3 enemy dive bomber groups coming in from behind, so I am of course going to stay in my smokescreen, and Puddin's AA is going to go to town on those guys. I managed to pick up the high caliber, and I also land a fire on the Lion. He's absolutely screwed. I am going to land at least 3 torpedoes, but it only is going to take 2. I pick up my 3rd kill of the game, and I'm up to 208,000 points of damage as I move out of my smokescreen. A very, very nice play by Puddin right there. And now he's going to let, well, some cancer fly downrange at that enemy Montana. When you're getting pelted by a Minotaur, and he's just firing nonstop like this. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you can see Puddin's AA is continuing to do its deadly work. He is getting some very nice shots downrange at the Montana. And this is a tier 8 Lexington that is on the enemy team, so his AA, while he has taken a bit of damage and some of his AA mounts have gotten destroyed, he is still doing a very nice job. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the Montana has had a lot of very nice blind shots into smokes and just at ships in general, so his first one managed just to go a little bit off the stern section of Puddin's ship. And oh my lord, look at the nice rapid rate of fire going in on this guy. And you can see Puddin knows exactly where to aim on the Monty. You want to aim right into the top of the superstructure. That is where you're going to get the very nice stuff. The Montana, right before he kicks the bucket, manages to get off one last broadside at Puddin. We'll see if his aim is true. Puddin manages to get the kill and gets put down. Oh my gosh. That was absolutely ridiculous. Puddin almost eating shit, getting put down to literally within a fringe of his life, but of course, because Minotaurs are ridiculous, he's going to be able to heal about half of that back up. And at this point, I found the CV, so I pick up the Confederate, and I'm trying to get the kill. But because I've taken a lot of damage, a lot of my AA mounts have been taken out as well, and I'm really kind of trying to figure out which ammo type I want to shoot at this guy. I'm doing about 3,000 damage pretty consistently on the Lexington, but I realize that if I'm going to get this kill here, I do need to set some fires to go in combination with that. However, unfortunately, he was able to get his torpedo planes off, so I'm going to have to do quite a bit of torpedo beating here. I do manage to get that fire that I want, and I'm going to play this about as good as one could. So what I'm going to do first is turn away from the torpedo planes. So he's continuing to turn with me, so what this means is that it's going to take him a long time to be able to put himself in a position to be able to drop those torpedoes on me. And I'm also increasing the amount of time that he is going to remain inside my AA bubble, whatever is left of it. I do manage to get the fire right there on the carrier once again, and since he uses damage control, he is not going to be able to put that out. The carrier decides to drop at very long range. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I'm going to squeeze right in between the two outside torpedoes that were dropped. I do finally start to shoot down a couple airplanes, and I'm now going full reverse, trying to back up. Ooh, luckily for me, the RNG was with me right there. I get my second fire on that guy, and now I'm going to speed up. He's trying to get another dive bomber out on the way. You can see that the next wave is incoming, and I get put down to an inch worth of my life as well, but I'm going to be able to take care of the carrier, and that is the end of an epic game. Alrighty, guys, taking a look now at the post-battle results. This is Puddin, 390,000 credits received and 4,600 total EXP. He managed 81,000 points of damage off of 297 shell hits. He had 1 solo base cap, 3 ships destroyed, and 15 planes shot down. Taking a look at the team score now, 3,015 base EXP for me, an absolutely cracking result with 4 kills and 2 planes shot down. Puddin coming in second place with 1,978 base EXP. And our boy B-Ray with a freaking goose egg. That poor guy lagging out before the game even started. Couldn't get back in. I feel really, really bad for him. Taking a look at Puddin's detailed report, of course, 81,000 points of damage dealt with the main battery, all of it with the armor-piercing shells. A decent bit with the potential damage, 688,000. And just a very nice performance by Puddin in that regard. Taking a look at my personal details now, 725,000 credits received, 6.7 total EXP. This was not my first win of the day in this ship. I picked up a Confederate, a high caliber, devastating strike, 265,000 points of damage off of 358 shell hits and 14 torpedoes. I shot down 2 planes, sank 4 enemy ships, had 3 base defense ribbons, and 1 solo base capture. And taking a look at my detailed report, 96,000 damage dealt with the main battery, 130,000 dealt with the torpedoes, and a further 38,000 dealt with the fires and the flooding. I also had 1.7 million potential damage, 60 out of the 180 capture points, and a very solid 34 out of the 62 defense points. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this replay as much as we had playing in it. Well, except for B-Ray, of course. Again, that poor guy. Please consider giving the video a like, commenting on it, or possibly subscribing to the channel. All of it is very much appreciated. And with that being said, the Sneaky Snake here for Brothers in Arms World of Warships signing off. Guys and gals, have a great day.